One of the major surprises that the NFL brought to us last season was the Detroit Lions and how good they ended up being after multiple seasons of constantly building through the draft, having that previous season where they went 9-8 and missed the playoffs. And this team is very interesting in a sense where they almost were a quarter away from making the Super Bowl in the season after they didn't make the playoffs. So in this video, I really want to talk about the Detroit Lions, what they've done so far, and my thoughts about what they're going to be like as a team going into next season. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Soulback Sports, and I'm so back with another video. And to start off, I really want to talk about the strengths that the Lions have right now. The Lions have really focused on building this offense, and the GM literally made sure that through the draft, they focused on nailing that identity that is Detroit Lions offense, where we're going to run the ball, we're going to use wide receivers and to their most extent, and the resurgence of St. Brown was a really big, stark contrast to what they were in the previous season, where St. Brown was really good, but this season he cemented himself as a really, really solid wide receiver one, and could be argued to be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. And, in the draft, currently right now, if you want to take a look at their depth chart, as you can see right here, they really have just Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams has shown that he could be a potential wide receiver too. And Donovan Peoples-Jones was a good addition from the Cleveland Browns last season before the trade deadline. And, Khalif Raymond has been kind of on and off, but overall, this is a pretty decent wide receiver core. And not even that, you have Jahmyr Gibbs as well, who is a threat when it comes to a receiving threat rather than a running threat as well. So what the Lions need to focus on this offseason is adding another wide receiver to pair with St. Brown. And I'm not saying that the current wide receivers they have aren't good. It's just that I think to move to that next level, because having an extra wide receiver, and keep in mind Sam Laporta has been a solid receiving tight end as well. So if you continue to add more weapons to your offense, I don't see why not that they could not make it back to the NFC Championship again this upcoming season. And another point of emphasis is their center, which they've added Graham Glasgow, Glasgow, excuse me. And Frank Ragnow had some injury during the season, but I think he should be back. Doesn't seem, based on reports, it didn't seem that much of a scary injury or whatnot. I think he's going to be fine in general. It's, he's from 2018. There was their first round pick in pick number 20 back then. It's crazy. And the current level of draft picks that they have one first round pick, one second round pick, one third round pick via the Minnesota Vikings, and Detroit has a couple picks in the later rounds. And I think this leads me to my next point, where the focus should be now is the defense. And that's what the key weakness was for the Detroit Lions, because in key moments in the games, they didn't necessarily have the best defense, especially in the secondary. I guess investing in Brian Branch definitely did help with that, but I think you have to continue to build on that, adding more starting caliber players to your your D-line. Aiden Hutchinson needs another edge rusher to pair with them. As of right now, they've made some free agency moves with Davenport as an edge rusher, Amik Robinson as a cornerback, DJ Reader as a defensive tackle. You see these additions, and especially one key thing that I've noticed is that not many of these are high risk, in terms of contracts and whatnot. They're most of them are 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, etc., etc. And that's really good, because it kind of reminds me of what they did with the offense with getting Montgomery from the Chicago Bears and drafting Jahmyr Gibbs as well. And at the time people were like, "Oh, why are you drafting Jameer Gibbs? You already got Montgomery." And at the time they had DeAndre Swift as well. I'm pretty sure they had